Hello, everybody. Welcome to
Hello.
Use the Hot Mess with Quiche and Nathan. So, Nathan,
Yes,
how do you feel about your country?
the country that we live in.
Yeah, the US of A.
Oh, well, see, recently I've pictured myself living in Australia. So,
Hmm.
hello, mate. Um, what do I think about our country? Um, where do I begin? Like, what aspect do you want me to start off with?
Like, just,
Like,
that's just literally, I'm asking you.
I think it's a whirlwind with no reference to the recent hurricanes, a fucking torrential downpour of bullshit. Really,
Mm.
our country uh, is so divided and so that's terrible. I'm not proud to be an American at this point. I can't say that I don't know. I think my attitude towards America changed when a government building was attacked by United States citizens uh, during the first or second Trump election, I guess, right? Was that his reelection? I don't know. I think our entire country is divided. I don't think that I don't think our leaders have the general care or well-being of the people. Um, I think we're struggling to just live day by day, and I think it's just a shit show, to be
That
completely
is a
honest.
perfect way to end that sentence. So, as you know, I work in the space of helping people with their well-being, and I have a question. How do you feel about nursing homes?
Wow, that is completely random.
It'll
Nursing
all it'll
homes.
all make sense, Betty. It'll all make sense.
I hope so. 'Cause you went from America to nursing homes, so that's a pretty big. I feel that nursing homes have. I have quite a few friends or previous associates that work in the health industry. Nursing homes are there to essentially provide structure for those that cannot assist themselves, for the lack of better terms. I had, for example, one of my old regular guests when I was serving at a local restaurant, Miss Mary. She was the sweetest woman. She had a great history, great stories to tell. I loved her sitting in my section. Always liked the little flat $10 bill for a one top too, but we're not going to get into that. I actually helped her move into a nursing home. I actually took a day off, and I helped her unload her boxes, and I got to see a little bit of the insides of what a nursing home has to offer and provide. And although the idea is nice, I don't think that the staff that they have hired for these places, these facilities, are educated enough to help not only psychologically but also physically, like both, like they're both aspects. Because I think as you get older, if your brain checks out, your body checks out, and I don't think that they have enough people there for the psychiatric part of it. So they just kind of go in with a closed mind, I think, and I think they just kind of go day by day. I think they're underpaid, so I think they just hire people that are fresh out of the universities that don't really have a degree. And I think that they are, maybe taught that you just kind of babysit an old person, but in actuality, you need to. You're just not just bathing these old people because they can't
Right.
reach their ball sack. It's like actually you have to talk to them, and like this is actual like dementia, and I don't know, nursing homes. I don't know how we're going to tie this into America, and I'm actually looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, that's good. So to tie it together, I want you to listen to something. And
Oh
before
God.
you make comments, when the clip is over, I'm going to ask you a question and then you can comment. Okay?
Okay, so I can't talk. Okay,
You ready?
ready as I'll ever be.
The question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely.
I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner.
I will absolutely. There's nothing I'd rather do. The thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country.
The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right.
During my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. He is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water. The cleanest water? He hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. 159 or 58, don't hold me the exact number, presidential historians, they've had meetings and they voted who was the worst president in American history, one through best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history.
This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it.
How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star? What are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat. This is a guy who says Hitler's done some good things.
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you.
This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent.
Oh, I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way, and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 220 pounds, or 35 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what you're. Anyway, I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
So Nathan, do you think that these types of wonderful debates happen in America's nursing homes?
This is by far the worst presidential debate I think ever witnessed in human population. Like, this is by far battle of the geriatric. Like, this is terrible. First, this debate opened up with, I believe, if I recall, there was not even an audience, right? There's not even an audience there to witness this. But we'll get to the reactions after a minute. Let's just talk about what we just watched right here. Between the two of them, we'll start with Biden. Biden couldn't get his fucking numbers straight if he had a fucking calculator. He was like 156, 192,
Or something.
One something, 3.14726, like maybe 7 feet tall. Like, where did that come from?
Anywhere.
So Biden's reactions to what Trump initiated. This is by far, they said that this was a victory for Trump, by the way, which is a sad victory in nature because that's what he won. But I think that the highlight of this entire debate was they discussed handicaps in golf.
Yep.
Where the fuck did that come from?
I was so confused because I was like, wait, are we doing the presidential debate, or are we talking about what you guys do outside of this?
Right. But are we talking about what you were doing when you should have been handling COVID cases? You were on the green shooting balls and working on your handicaps and your pars. And I'm not a big golfer. I'm no Tiger Woods by any means. Right. If anything, I'm going to be coming out swinging like Tiger Woods' wife before I'd come out here swinging like Tiger Woods. But I don't know where to even start with that. Literally, Trump, they're just bragging about their golf swings. And then he's talking about, well, he's 3 years younger than me, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how old they are. I know they're both senior citizens. They both get a discount coffee at McDonald's for 49 cents.
Yes, they do.
They both, I mean, one is now a convicted felon, so I don't know if he reaps all the benefits or not. But
I mean, he's running for president, so there's something there.
There was a hilarious TikTok video that I watched where they literally took that screen, that little snippet of that scene of where they were talking about golf and just like voice acted it, or I don't even know what it is. And it was the best thing that I've ever seen. Remind me to send that to you. But that is embarrassing. That is embarrassing for our country. This is what people are watching all around the world as we enter into a very important presidential election, in my opinion, with all of the the war going on across seas with Palestine and, Israel and all of that, with Iran, I'm sorry, recently bombing. But there's so much going on. This is very important to keep us out. And now we have these ports that are, I believe that they just opened back up and they're going to renegotiate the terms of the contracts in January. But January is going to be right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't do something with it, this is a very important presidential campaign. And we have these two fools that started out bickering like two old women. I think they're like catty old women fighting at the nursing home of who's going to get the last piece of meatloaf. And it's just fucking stupid.
I'm just really confused, like what topics we actually covered that's going to help America. So the reason I brought up America, just to see your sentiments, but nursing homes, do you think that these two belong in the nursing homes with the underpaid?
Absolutely. I think absolutely. I think that they deserve a taste of their own medicine, or lack thereof.
Yeah. We need to be medicated.
I think they need to be put in a padded room and observed by professionals, maybe higher professionals. They have the Secret Service or whatever the hell it's called that, takes them on their little airplane and Air Force One, whatever they fucking do. They have their bodyguards essentially for the rest of their life. So I think they should have professional medical personnel just check them out. Like, I don't think that if you have dementia, you should be qualified to be leading our country.
I honestly think there should be an age limit, because you can't be 90 running the country. Like, regardless of how great you are, you just need to sit down.
Because, and not in a wheelchair. You need to sit down. Although we did have a president that was in a wheelchair. Was it Johnson? I think it was Lyndon. No, it wasn't Johnson. I don't know. I'm actually like I'm a historical, like I'm a history professor over here.
What?
No, it was Roosevelt.
Yes, I was like, it was FDR.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now. But if you sit down, but FDR wasn't a vegetable. These two guys will be literally, their brain
borderline.
We would be. I keep saying that Miley Cyrus should be running for president because the campaign slogans would be great. We can't stop voting for Miley Cyrus. Climb to the White House. You know what I mean?
So great.
Like, she would have just so many, party in the USA alone is the great Miley Cyrus campaign slogan. Whether she would be effective, I don't know. But
I mean, look at those choices.
If it was the choices right now were between Trump, Biden, and Miley Cyrus, I'm telling you, Cyrus all the way, baby.
Yeah,
Cyrus
I would make
all
a
the
t-shirt.
way.
I'd probably get a tattoo.
I know. Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of going for like the old Miley, a little bit. Not this, Flowers Miley, where now she's being sued for copyright infringement from a Bruno Mars song. But I would go back to like where she was like licking sledgehammers, like she came in like a wrecking ball. Another great slogan, by the way. Like that's the kind of Miley I want, where she was like on acid and fucking around with the what's his name? What are the brothers? The Hemsworth. Fuck around with the Hemsworth. You fuck around with the Hemsworth, you're gonna find out. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, that's who I would vote for, hands down. But those are not our options.
So I love that, one of the candidates decided, you know what? I can barely speak words. I don't know my numbers. I don't even really know my name. So we have another candidate. So of course, when you have a new candidate, there has to be another debate, right?
Oh, well, you would think. How long did it take for us to get the debate?
So let's just take a look at this next clip and then we'll talk about this one.
Okay.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Have fun.
Thank you.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is the
people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager. We hardly make chips anymore because of philosophies like they have and policies like they have. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But if she ever got elected, she'd change it. She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well.
The government, and Donald Trump certainly, should not be telling a woman what to do with her body. I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that.
They have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
And I'm
Comments.
First of all, Bama, I'm not going to cook you, Angel. Where you at? We don't eat cats and dogs around here in Murfreesboro,
animals.
Tennessee.
What they're doing.
I opened a restaurant in Centerville, Ohio, and I was there for about 8 months. And I reached out to one of my old coworkers and asked if they cooked their golden retriever, and they responded with a big no. So we are comfortable to say that they are not just in Ohio, just ripping open cats and dogs.
Eating them, specifically in Springfield.
It's Springfield, Springfield, particularly. That's isn't Ohio like a blue state or red state? Aren't they? I think that's like what you're going after your own state now. You're saying that your state, your candidates that are voting for you are taking their Yorkshire Terrier, putting it in a pot of boiling water, cutting up carrots, celery, and making chop suey with their animals.
Eating the animals.
They're eating their dogs.
The people that are coming in this country are eating the animals.
No, that's not how. Although, remember when we were growing up, we used to always accuse that we were eating cats at Chinese restaurants. Again, that is all. It's all literally tackling stereotype. That's all it is. And he literally basically destroyed any chance of opportunity of receiving votes from a particular class of people by saying that because you are the way that you look and you are predominantly apparently live in Springfield.
Coming in this country to Springfield, Ohio, eating the animals.
Why can't they eat their cat and dog in Thailand, or wherever? I don't know what particular. That's how far I didn't study it, because I literally lost my brain when he said they were eating their pets.
Yeah, I think I shut down.
Yeah. And not even like their fish, even their fish would make sense. No, not even fish. Nobody eats. No one's like, I'm going to build an aquarium and put tropical fish in. Where's Nemo? It's time for dinner.
Right?
No one's doing that.
Right.
And then we're talking about, on the other side of the spectrum, we're talking about a woman's right to her body is I think that's a right that needs to stay intact. Women, I'm not a woman, and I never want to be one. Couldn't imagine being one. But if my reproductive rights, if I was a woman, would be the top priority for me during this election. Not picking a side, because I don't pick either Democrat, Republican. I'm not any party per se. But a woman should be able to do with her reproductive system what she wants. And for the fact that he's accusing people of having an abortion after 9 months, no, that's murder.
Right.
No,
Different
no one
words.
is. None of these women are out here going, "Oh, well, it's been 9 months.
I don't want this
Oh,
baby anymore.
I
Can
don't want
someone
any
just
more."
abort it?
Yeah, I think abort, abort, abort. Instead of for friends, so they're like pivot, pivot. They're like abort, abort. No, that's not how this works. That would be murder, and
Literally.
we've seen cases of that where that woman murdered her child and shoved him in a trash can or whatever, and then tried to get away with it. So we see that. That's not an abortion at that point. This is what we're doing. The first, I believe, an abortion occurs during the first trimester, if I'm correct. Right? I don't know much about a woman's
It's
anatomy.
somewhere in there, and I think maybe a little into the second. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but it's definitely not at 9 months or after. So
No, well, after is an exhausted pregnancy. It's time for that baby to come out. But for a 12 or 13-year-old to be involved in incest, rape, or someone to be, you know, in an abusive relationship, or someone, I don't know, someone that's just not financially ready, or someone that's not personally ready, or someone that's too young, or someone that's too old. I think that the the women of our world should have the right to make that decision. And most of the women that are making these decisions are making it early enough where it's not a life. It's not 9 months. It's maybe 9 weeks, right? Or
mhm.
if that. I think they're even deciding before that. But did you force all of these children? I think that party is particularly like, maybe if we just give birth to more people, they'll just be dumb and they'll vote for us. We need more degenerate. So if the incest happens, they will come out mentally disabled and vote for me, Donald Trump Jr. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know,
Maybe.
but I can tell you, maybe that's what it is. But for the fact, those two statements alone, though, I mean, it kind of makes sense why we get to see the Kamala Harris. Did you fall out of a coconut tree? Because he did. He fell and bumped his fucking head or
Yeah.
something, or a bunch of coconuts fell and knocked him the fuck out. Because what the hell are you thinking? You're old. Sit down. You're old. You've now been convicted.
Well,
It
the
has nothing
crazy
to
part
do.
to me is like, first of all, you're like 78-ish. You have a lot of money. You've already been president. Like what else do you need to do? Just have a seat. Now, for those of you listening, it's just like, well, you pretty much only played Trump's side. We don't have all day to play clips because Kamala, trust me, says some crazy shit too. Like Nathan said, we're
Yes.
not taking one side or the other, but like just comical shit though. It's like, what are we actually doing when these people are nominated or however that works? Because here's my sort of debate in my mind when it comes to voting. I think it's important to vote, but then you have to think when you have shit like this that's going on legit real life and in action in life, do we actually have any control when it comes like, or are we just voting just to say we're a part of it? Because like there is no way I feel like that a majority of Americans are going to be like, yeah, these are the people that we need to put up to run our country for sure.
And it's not necessarily the political candidates themselves. It's the people that are associated with voting for these candidates, and they don't have any intellectual or any educational background to like. I watched a clip of someone walking up to someone outside of a Trump rally. I know we keep picking Trump, but there's Kamala Harris stuff too. That's a whole different. We could do a whole nother episode of that.
Right.
But in this case, they walked up and said, "What do you think about Taylor Swift endorsing uh, Harris?" And they were like, "Oh, she just needs to sing and stick to her own lane. She just needs to, shut up, pretty much." And they're like, "What do you think about Kid Rock?" "Oh, we love Kid Rock. Kid Rock, yeah." And they're like, "Well, what if he stood for, a president?" We would stand by Kid Rock. We love Kid Rock. And it just shows that there's no comparison. Like, what are you? You're judging your beliefs. You're not studying the materials. You're not getting ready for your exam. You're literally just going in with a closed mind of you think that's. I don't even think that everything that these Trump supporters that are sitting outside these rallies understand that Trump doesn't even really believe in half the shit they support. But so now it's your little cult nature that you have created is now I feel like Kamala with my hands because it's all she does is use her hands. Like wah 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 wah. Oh, now who am I? But I think that like just the Trump supporters are a whole new classification of just retardation almost. Like I don't understand where the thought process is. If you have not every Trump supporter, I'm not saying that,
Right.
but the ones that are gun ho, like I'm voting for this person because I think that it's okay for you to grab a woman in the pussy.
I do that every day.
I love grabbing women in the pussy. It's like I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like we all know Bill Clinton got a BJ underneath the fucking desk over, when he was president, but no one's out here going, yeah, give head to like no one's doing that. But we're over here talking about like, I don't know. This is a whole new world that we lived in. And I think that I think the whole United States as a whole has been very uneducated. We've grasped onto social media and we're not learning all of the facts.
Do you think that this is what Jasmine was singing about in Aladdin when she said a whole new world?
A whole new world. No, they were just on their magic carpet looking for their pet Iago to cook up for dinner. No, I'm just joking. It was terrible.
No,
it was really terrible. Too soon. But
I have another question for you. Now, I was going to play this, but like I wouldn't have been able to control myself. So I just want to ask this question to see what you think, and then I'll comment. So, what do you think about, and I want you to define it. First, I want you to define what this is, and then I want you to comment on what you think about it. How do you feel about, and how do you define Black jobs since they're all being taken in Trump's eyes?
What's a Black job?
I'm asking you.
I mean, I don't. We don't have any. I can't define something that can't be. What is a Black job?
Well, they're taking all the people coming in, taking all the pets, and they're taking all the Black jobs. So I was just wondering, because for me, just as being a Black person, if you guys can't see me, yes, I'm a Black person. I'm a Black person. So I was very confused when he said that, and I literally like wrecked my brain, like Black jobs, like Black jobs, like Black jobs. I was like, well, we don't pick cotton anymore, so like that one's scratched out. We're not allowed and legally to be slaves anymore, so that one's scratched out. So like, what the fuck is a Black job?
I think you're not going to look up in the dictionary under Black jobs and have an answer, because that's not. I watched a lot of great TikTok videos. I will say this when I say social media. TikTok is there for two reasons, right? There is the educational purpose, believe it or not, in my opinion. That's why they want to shut it down. But that's a whole different conversation from a different day. But two, you have the comical aspect of it, where it takes to grasp these concepts that are very fluid in American society and blows it way out of proportion. And that's what makes us laugh. Because if you can't do anything but laugh at this point, right? Yeah. What's a Black job? So there was a video of a couple of Hispanic guys that are like building a fence or something, and the African American guy pulls up in a UPS truck and he carries it up, and they're like, "Oh, Black job! Oh, we gotta get Black job!" And they like chase him around the truck and beat him up and take the box and run to the door. It was the best thing ever I've ever seen. Because if you can't do anything but laugh at this point, because Black jobs, there's nothing. You can't define that. You can't. So
let me read this to you. That maybe this will help. This is from CNN. What it means to have a Black job in America. When former President Donald Trump last week reasserted his unsubstantiated claim that immigrants are taking Black jobs, the phrasing once again became internet fodder. On social media, typically accompanied by the hashtag Black job or hashtag Black jobs hashtags, people, including celebrities, shared their Black job, pushing back on perceived racial stereotypes and xenophobic rhetoric. Trump later clarified during his interview at the National Association of Black Journalists that Black jobs applies to all jobs held by Black Americans and others, and that he was raising the alarm on potential employment risks. Still, the discussion comes as Black workers have made significantly positive and in many cases historic employment advancements. They're also occurring at this point when the labor market appears to be at an inflection point. This is the greatest economy that we've seen for Black people in our lifetimes and arguably ever, but there are still significant inequalities. That was Algernon Austin. So I'm not going to read the rest of that, but does that help you define it?
It sounds like Black jobs are just jobs.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So it's just jobs.
Yeah,
from what I
jobs.
gathered, right?
You
Because
know.
I would consider you and I to be eligible for the same job. You
No,
know,
no, I would have a Black job.
because you're Black, right? So do they have gay jobs? Are there gay
Maybe,
jobs out there? I'm
maybe.
gonna ask Joe.
I haven't seen that one, but
No,
like the Black
I'm
jobs, it's like, so would that be, ooh, a Black job, someone who works at fast food? Yep, there's Black people at fast food. Are there lawyers? Yep. Are there judges? Yep. Are there people who drive Uber? Yep. Like the list goes on and on. So like, what the fuck are you on, sir? America.
I know. I'm gonna be actively submitting my resume to look for gay jobs later on
Shit.
this evening. After we get off of here, I'm looking at being on Indeed, actively searching for the Rainbow Pride gay jobs because I want to make sure that I, equal opportunity.
That's right. And immigrants don't come over taking the gay jobs too.
You immigrants, you leave us Black and gay jobs alone. What about Black gay jobs? What if you
Oh
Black and gay?
gosh.
Yeah, what about the Asian jobs? Like, what about the Asian gay jobs? Like, there's just
Gonna,
it's
gonna
called jobs.
explode the
It's
internet.
jobs. It's called fucking jobs, and that's it.
Just
That's
wild.
the definition.
So wild. Well, I guess my last thing before we wrap this baby up today, because this was good for me. How important is it for people to go out and vote? Because by the time this episode airs, it's going to be time for you guys to choose a president for the great old country of America.
It's always important to exercise your right to vote. You are an American citizen. You were born, maybe not necessarily born here. Maybe I don't know. I don't really know all the requirements because I've only voted once, believe it or not. But I think it's very important to vote. Exercise your right. We are citizens. We have the freedom that other people don't get to experience from countries all across the world. And seeing the geriatrics battle it out round one, and then seeing what we're dealing with now, nonetheless, let your voice be heard. And it's important to vote. Stand by your ground. Whether it be you love Kid Rock, whatever it is at this point in time, at least exercise your right to vote because you are part of making history at this point. So go out and vote.
So tagging on to Nathan, including Nathan, vote. The choices may not be what we want. Nathan, you vote. You just said you voted one time.
Yeah, just one time. Yeah. I'm gonna vote. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a mail-in vote.
It doesn't matter, but if you've only voted one time, you've missed a couple of elections, sir.
Yeah, well, I was going through some things.
Well, we're not going to be like Nathan as a terrible example. We're going to vote. We may not completely like the choices that we have, but choose. There are other parties out there, even if you want to, vote for those people, but really take the time to do your research. And if you're like, I don't want to watch an exhausting debate, which these two were pretty comical. So go back and watch them if you were bored on a Saturday night because it's amazing. But do research. There's tons of sites out there that will literally give you a recap. Like it will give you at least some of the major issues because you don't want to just throw out a vote just randomly because like if they are doing something that could affect you or the people that you love, like make sure that you pay attention to that. So just pick the lesser of two evils, but make sure that you vote. Make sure that you're registered to vote. I'm not going to throw out a bunch of stuff because I'm not sure because I always register because I move sometimes and I always register when I get my ID. So I don't really know how to do that, but just Google it, people. Google is a great source. So with that being said, to all my American people, go vote. We'll see the results very, very soon. To the people outside of America, keep us
quit taking a Black job.
We will see you guys on the next episode.